Lampooning famous book titles and movie titles. Hi, I'm Gary Levisi, and this time we're going to take a look at an interesting series of Sleaze books called Beeline books. They began publication in 1965. David Zentner was the publisher who created them, and he later became the publisher of Pinnacle Books. But in 1965 and 66, the early Beeline books that started out with number 101 and ran for about 200 editions to 301 or so around there until 1966, all had really cool cover titles, titles on the books that lampooned famous movies and famous other famous books. And some of these you'll recall classics, great memories, and I think you're going to enjoy these. These are kind of pretty cool. The books themselves are Sleaze. They're softcore adult books. They don't have anything to do with the titles, most of them, but some of them are pretty good reads. They're boxing novels, they're murder mysteries and things like that, but they were in a Sleaze vein, a softcore adult vein, which used euphemisms and was not explicit at all, so there's nothing really, a woman's romance book would be much more explicit today than any of these books. But the titles are what makes these very interesting. So we're going to take a quick look at them now. We're just going to move these around. I guess Ernest Hemingway never knew that when he wrote For Whom the Bells Toll, that there would be an edition For Whom the Bells Toil. There's a famous, I think there's a movie, The Games People Play. This is the games people play with. The famous book that was made into a movie, the Agony and the Ecstasy, about Michelangelo building the Sistine Chapel. Well,
I think he painted it.
Painting the Sistine Chapel, right? He would have taken him a little longer if he had to build it. And anyway, so this is the Anatomy and the Ecstasy by King Coral, who was Bob Tralin's. Other famous, Howard Robbins, the Carpetbaggers, somehow became the Carpetdraggers. I don't know what that has to do, but the Adventurer became the Adventurous. Trying to remember all these authors. Jack London's Call of the Wild. It's the Call of the Wild Ones. Advice and Consent becomes Vice and Consent. Northern Exposure becomes Southern Exposure. The famous World War II novel that was made into a movie, The Naked and the Dead, becomes The Naked and the Deadly. They kept naked in the title because this is, after all, a Sleaze outfit book publisher. Steinbeck's Of Mice and Men is regurgitated Of Vice and Men. They even got Lolita on here because Lolita, they even made it a different version and it became Lotita. The famous Western TV show with I forgot who the actor was. It was Have Gun Will Travel. Paladin. This is Have Body Will Travel. Erskine Caldwell gets a little bit of recognition here by one of his famous books, God's Little Acre, and that becomes God's Little Faker. Fanny Hill, the famous 17th century courtesan sexy book, becomes Fanny Mill. in the hands of King Coral, who was Bob Tralin's. Butterfield 8, the famous novel, becomes Buttercup 9. And the book that was made into the famous James Dean movie, East of Eden, becomes East of Evil. You can see that they were having fun playing with the titles of these books, and they are pretty cool. Some of them really cool. Another one we'll look at is I'll Cry Tomorrow is I'll Try Tomorrow. The famous Broadway impresario and author Damon Runyon is known for Guys and Dolls, and this is Guys and Malls. Famous book that was made into a movie, Room at the Top. Well, this is the other room, the room at the bottom. Even William Burroughs gets lampooned here for his novel Naked Lunch. Well, actually, he didn't make it to lunch because this is Naked Brunch. One of the famous movies, My Fair Lady, gets the Sleaze treatment in My Bear Lady. Kitty Foyle, famous novel, becomes Kitty Doyle. The famous Western movie Cat Ballou, with I believe Jane Fonda was in it, and who's that actor? The one that was in
Don't ask me.
yeah, the one that was in Dirty Dozen. Anyway,
Before my time. Clint Eastwood?
no, it was I can't remember his name.
No.
So there's Cat Ballou. There you have Kit Ballou. And you even got Mickey Spillane, lampoon of the title of I the Jury, becomes I the Judge.
One up them.
The man in the gray flannel suit, famous novel in the movie, becomes of course the girl in the gray flannel suit. James Jones' famous World War II novel that was made into the movie with Burt Lancaster, From Here to Eternity, becomes From Here to Maternity. And it's actually a James Bond kind of spy book in this version.
A whodunit?
Yeah, kind of a whodunit spy novel. Yeah, and the famous Western Duel in the Sun becomes Duo in the Sun. And again, this is written by King Coral, who was Bob Traynor, who wrote a lot of these. And I think they had a lot of fun with these books. But the original title and the lampoon title have nothing to do with the story. You know, what the story is in the book. Girl in the Gray Flannel Suit is actually a Le Mans racing car novel, and it's actually pretty good. And this is also pretty good. This is a good spy book. Jacqueline Suzanne gets the treatment here. Her Valley of the Dolls was looked at as being very kind of risque at the time when it came out, but I guess she never knew about the book that could have been the sequel, The Alley of the Dolls. I think I actually did this one already. Dames People Play With.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last one is a famous book, Forever Amber, becomes Forever Ember.
Oh.
And that's a little look at some of the early Beeline books with their lampoon cover titles of famous bestsellers of the day. and famous movies. In my magazine Paperback Parade, we look at this series. In issue number 97, we look at the first 200 books in the series and have a list of all 200 and the titles. And in number 103, we continue the series and look at the later books, which are a little more explicit, a little more hard, not so soft core, and they don't have the kind of titles that the collectors like. But the first issue here of 97 will have information if anybody's interested in more learning more about these books or finding out what titles are available. They're a hoot. They're pretty cool and funny, and when you see them, it's like, you know, they're fun. And just hope you enjoyed this look at this kind of unique series of books. They're something different, something special. And if you did, give us a like and a thumbs up and a share and subscribe so you'll get notices on the new videos that are coming out. We're doing some nice things, and I think you're going to enjoy them. And the other thing I'd just like to say is thank you for looking and for supporting the channel and for your comments. And see you next time.